Welcome to Simple Keys. My name is Mitchell, and throughout this video series I'm going to teach you the basic piano theory and the foundation to be able to play some of your favorite written music, which you can share that music with your friends and family. On to the lesson. So in piano music, we sometimes refer to something called fingering. In music, you'll see a number from 1 to 5 above the note that you're about to play, and that's just referring to the finger that you start playing with on that note. So let's go over the fingers now. Number 1 is your thumb. Number 2 is your index finger. Number 3 is your middle finger. Number 4 is your ring finger or your fourth finger. And number 5 is your pinky. So for example, if I was going to tell you to play an A with 1, I'd be referring to your thumb. That's basically just saying play the note A with your thumb, like this. In piano music, many of us learn how to play a specific arrangement of keys. One of those things we refer to them is a scale, specifically a major scale. And every major scale has a pattern. Let's break it down. One whole step, another whole step, a half step, another whole step, another whole step, another whole step, and a half step. I'll include it in text below, and hopefully you can remember that. Every major scale follows this pattern. You can try this starting on any note. It could be a white key or a black key, doesn't matter. Let's try right now. So I'm gonna start on a C, and we're gonna go step by step. So feel free to play along. I'm gonna play a few scales starting on different notes. First one will be C major. The next one is going to be D major, and we're gonna start on a D. The next and the final scale I'm going to cover, or the last major scale that I'm going to cover, is starting on an F, or the F major scale. There are many other scales, and feel free to try them on your own because it's really good to explore and to be able to try to do this on your own. So I did play them with my index finger only. There are optimal fingering positions for playing a scale. I can cover this in future videos if you're interested. The purpose of me showing you stuff about major scales is to get you to understand something about key signatures, and I'll go over that in just a minute. One thing you'll commonly hear with musicians, it'll be like, hey, let's play in the key of A or the key of C or something like that. But what does that really mean? In written music, many songs are written in a certain key, which means that certain notes are played throughout an entire song. A key signature, which is something I referred to earlier, it's kind of like a shortcut telling us what white keys we have to play raised or lowered half steps. So what I mean by that, for example, let's say I want to play in the key of D. If we look at a D major scale, you would have to play F sharp and a C sharp. Let's play it again now. In knowing the key signature of a song doesn't really necessarily mean you have to play starting on a D and ending on a D like in a scale. You can play any of the notes of that scale in any way that you want, but you would have to be playing those specific notes. Otherwise you won't be in the key of D. If you play anything else that's not in that D major scale, it won't be in the key of D. If you played, let's say, a G sharp when you're in the key of D, it would not sound right. It would sound a little off. But one of the reasons I introduced key signatures and scales is that you can understand why certain songs sound the way they do. We'll cover in the next video a song that's in a certain key signature. That's all I have to tell you about key signatures. And I don't really want to overwhelm you, but there's a huge list of scales and key signatures to cover. I'll include a quick list right here for your information. Try not to get overwhelmed, it's a lot. You can do it, I know you can, so keep trying, you'll do great. One other thing before I move on is that all scales have 8 keys. The note you start on and the one that you end on are the same. They're higher or lower than the note that you started on, but either way, a scale has 8 keys. And the difference between the first note you start on and the last note you end on is called an octave. And an octave is something that we refer to music as just 8 keys apart. Here's an octave here. Try not to get too confused. Octaves just means 8 notes apart, nothing to do with steps. This is just something that we've just had in music that is just a naming way that we call this distance, and it's called octaves because of notes apart, not necessarily whole or half steps. But it's important to know it because playing something 8 keys apart just means that you know that it's the same notes. And you can almost tell it's the same note, it's just one's a little higher and one's a little lower. We've covered all the material that we needed to today, so let's do a quiz to test your knowledge. I'm gonna put a piano here at the bottom of the screen to help you out with figuring out where things are. So, let's start. What finger am I referring to when I talk about finger number 4? What's the formula for a major scale? What notes make up a G major scale? What's the key signature for G major? Stay tuned for the next video where I'll be playing Happy Birthday. Finally, we'll be able to play a song and you'll be able to put all those skills you learned for the test and you'll be able to play something really meaningful that you can share with your friends and family, like Happy Birthday, and that is a song we play next video. So if you're new to the channel, please like, comment, and subscribe. Don't forget to comment about these videos. I really want feedback from you guys. I am trying to figure out a way to teach what's best. There's a lot of things we learn in music that I'm not sure needs to be taught at a basic level, and there's more things we can learn as time goes on. Please let me know how this method of teaching works for you. If there needs to be something that needs to be changed, let me know. Please put in the comments. I want to be able to teach you guys the basics and to learn the very easy part of piano so that you'll be able to impress all your friends and family, and you'll learn a lot and have a skill that you can carry on with you for the rest of your life. Thank you guys for watching, and tune in for the next video. See you next time!